Good morning, Hawthorne. Good to see everybody. Thanks for watching another video. Before we get started today, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to start breaking my videos down into two parts. I'm going to post the educational part, and then I'm going to stop and post a separate video for the physical challenge part. And the reason for that is just because I don't want you to have to go through a whole 7-minute video in order to get to the challenge. And watching shorter videos might help break up your day a little bit. I know that your days are a little strange these days with being at home instead of being at school and not being able to see your friends. So maybe you can do 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the afternoon, whatever works for you. Anyway, today we're going to start talking about fats. So that's the educational part of our lesson today. Fats have gotten a little bit of a bad reputation because people equate eating fats with becoming fat or getting a lot of fat on your body. And there's actually a big difference. So we're going to talk about that first. Fats are actually really important for your body, and your body needs them. The first thing is they're a great energy source. You get more calories per gram from fat than you do from protein or carbohydrates. You get about 9 calories per gram for any fat. And then for proteins and carbohydrates, you get about 4 calories per gram. So it's about half the energy that you get from fat. The second thing is fat insulates our body. It helps keep it a consistent temperature, and if you're outside in a t-shirt when it's freezing cold, the fat around your body actually helps keep you warm so your body continues to work. Fats also protect our organs by creating kind of like a bubble wrap around us. And last but not least, they also help control your growth, your immune system, and they store nutrients in your body. There's certain vitamins and minerals that actually get stored inside the fat in your body. So you need some fat in your diet. And one of the ways that we actually got in trouble, back when I was a kid, everybody thought fats were bad, so they started taking fat out of foods, and everything said fat-free sour cream, fat-free cheese, fat-free milk. And for a lot of foods, when they took the fat out, they realized that the flavor was gone. So then they started dumping sugar and salt into it to replace the fat, and that actually made it worse. By dumping all that sugar in, we talked about yesterday all the added sugars, that sugar actually ended up being probably putting on more weight for more people than any of the fats ever did. So really quickly, there are 4 kinds of fats, and 3 of them are not really that bad for you at all. The 4th one you should try to avoid, and it's not hard to avoid. The healthier kinds of fats, and they have big words, so I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Monounsaturated fat. Pretty good for you, good for your heart. And I'm getting most of my information from the American Heart Association. So foods like nuts, avocados, and vegetable oils are high in monounsaturated fat. Polyunsaturated fat. Foods like salmon and cold water fish, tofu, seeds, and a particular kind of nut, a walnut. Those are high in polyunsaturated fat. Less healthy, but still an important part of your diet, saturated fats, and these are found mostly in animal products. So beef, pork, lamb, and dairy are higher in saturated fat. You don't want to get too many of these, but they're still an important part of your diet. And then lastly, the 4th kind of fat is trans fat, and as much as you can, you should avoid trans fat. So trans fat is found in fried food, margarine, which is a butter substitute, and it says right here at the very bottom, store-bought snack food. So things like Chips Ahoy cookies, you're going to want to check the labels. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So these are a store-bought cookie. They're a Girl Scout cookie, Thin Mints. Thanks to all my Girl Scouts again. If I look right under calories, it tells me how much fat is in the Girl Scout cookies. There's 7 grams of fat in 4 cookies. Of those, 5 is saturated fat, which we talked about is not necessarily a bad fat, but you want to make sure you're not getting too much. And then right under saturated fat, it says trans fat, 0 grams. So there is no trans fat in these, and I actually had a hard time finding anything in my house that has trans fat because more and more companies are trying not to put trans fat in their foods. So if you see a food that has a lot of trans fat under the fat label, that's a good thing to avoid. These are some foods that are all high in important kinds of fats. So I've got my peanut butter protein granola from Trader Joe's. Saturated fat, 2 grams. Trans fat, 0 grams. Polyunsaturated fat, 2.5 grams. Monounsaturated fat, 4.5 grams. This contains a lot of the fats that my body needs. Milk, same thing. 0 trans fat, 3 grams of saturated fat, 5 grams of total fat. Canola oil, also similar to olive oil, different oils that you use for cooking. This one has 1 gram of saturated fat, 4 grams of polyunsaturated fat, 8 grams of monounsaturated fat, and 0 grams of trans fat. So again, this contains a lot of the fats that my body needs. And if you are lucky enough, like Mrs. Green and I, to have access to salmon or cold water fish, this provides fat that your body cannot make on its own. It provides fats that you can only get from eating foods like salmon or tofu if you choose not to eat meat. So that's your lesson on fats today. It's very important that you're getting fat in your diet. Your body needs it for energy, to be have a strong immune system, and just to kind of keep your temperature at a regular basis. Just like anything else, if you eat too much fat, it will start to be stored on your body, and it will start to lead to getting obese or putting on weight. So you want to be careful with your calories, but make sure you're getting some fats in your diets. All right, Hawthorne, I'm going to go film a physical challenge. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.